And also record it. And
Perfect.
here we are. So, hey everyone, my name is Kimberly Wilcox, and me and Robyn are going to chat with you today about coaching. So we're super excited. We both haven't done this in a while, but we've been coaching for an eternity. So it's fun to do this together. So I'm just going to jump right in, and we're going to try to keep this 30 minutes or less. So we'll just be speedy. If you guys have questions that we don't answer, definitely we won't see them as you're chatting on Facebook because we're on Zoom, but we will go back and answer any questions that you possibly have. So again, my name is Kimberly. I just recently moved to Florida. I live in the Jacksonville area of Florida. I had lived in Virginia for the last 15 years. I have 3 boys. They are 14, 13, almost 12. So lots of teenage boys in my house. And I do Beachbody, what you would say full-time. I definitely do part-time hours. I work a couple hours a day typically, and I've been a coach for almost 7 years. So let Robyn introduce herself, and then we'll dive into some of the details.
Awesome. Okay, so I am Robyn. I currently, the same time Kimberly moved to Florida, we moved down to Virginia Beach. Kimberly and I actually connected in Newport News, Virginia area and have been besties since. So we're grateful that coaching kind of connected us. But I'm a military spouse. I have 2 very energetic kids. I also homeschool this year. And so I have been coaching for around 6 years, actually taking it seriously for probably 5. And I also do part-time hours like Kimberly, since I am here with the kiddos. So if you hear them in the background. But yeah, we're super excited to kind of dive in and share a little bit about what it is to be a coach and what that, answers some of the questions that you may have, because we had them too. Do you want me to get started with?
You start with
okay. So Kimberly and I are actually kind of fun that we get to do this together, because we are, like I said, good friends, but really quite different stories. So my background is I went to graduate school in health and wellness. I was a Group X instructor and also a certified personal trainer. And, I started coaching, or I started this at probably the absolute worst time. We had just moved to DC. My husband was not deployed, but it was insane. I had 2 littles, had just had a baby, and it was crazy, but I knew I needed to do something different. Getting to the gym was really exhausting, and I would talk myself out of going, and I just was like, I need to do something different. So to keep it real brief, I told my husband, and he was like, wait a minute, you know all this stuff. Why do you want that? And I was like, I don't even know. In my gut, I just knew I had to take a chance. And I said, give me 60 days. And really, it made all the difference. I was struggling. I was feeling like I just couldn't even get up, and going with my kids. I wasn't that mom that I really wanted to be. I had to take a nap, almost felt like I needed a nap every day. And my energy was down. And so was just I was just not in a good place. So I started with PIO and using Shakeology. And within 2 weeks' time, my husband said, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it, because he could tell I was happier. He was happier. He was excited about the action in the bedroom. I just felt better. I felt so much better. And as a military spouse and moving all around, I had no idea that I so needed that community that I found online, but I was so hesitant at first, but I'm glad that I took that chance, because after, pretty much 2 weeks, I was like, this is happening for me. So for me, coaching is really about, and what my coach did for me in this community is really just providing the tools to help reach the goals, whether it be through fitness or nutrition or support and community, but really being that cheerleader and helping, people reach the goals that they have. And ultimately, that's what I was doing as a Group X instructor. But it wasn't really because I just contradicted myself, but because they could only come to my class. And for me as a mom, I wanted to make extra money, but I couldn't like be at the gym all day with my littles. So that's kind of, a little bit more about my side of the story when it comes to coaching.
Awesome. So yes, Robyn and I are very different backgrounds. I do not have any kind of fitness or nutritional background. I'm not a fan of fitness or nutrition, even though I've been coaching for 7 years, but I see the value in it, obviously. I had a lot of success with Beachbody at a very difficult time in my life. I was definitely the biggest I had ever been. I had sky high cholesterol. I was only 34 years old. My cholesterol was way over 200. I just kind of had this aha moment where I was like, I have to have a change. And so for coaching, for me, I started as a customer, which a lot of you probably have too, or that are listening, or maybe you have this kind of background and you're ready to dive right in like Robyn did. For me, I just followed a program. I drank Shakeology for 3 months. I lowered my cholesterol from 222 to 156 in 90 days. I've kept it between 156 and 180-ish for the last 7 years. And really, I keep thriving because of the community. I had, I lost 50 pounds. Like, I just felt amazing. And it became really natural for me to share it with others, which is something that we're supposed to talk about later, but I might just jump right to it now as far as coaching and how it's really just sharing your journey. So we all have different stories, like whether you really thrive with the products or a certain workout or both. Or a big part of my story is just sharing what this community has done for me. So I have made, and this is where I get like a little weepy-eyed, I have made so many amazing friends. Robyn, one example, that she's one of my best friends. We talk all the time. We travel together all the time. Our families are close. Like when we lived in Virginia together, we always made time to see each other. I won't cry. But this community like really saved me in like a really dark time, and it continues to do that over and over again. So if I'm having a hard time, like I just made a big move, and it's like you're making all these new friends, but I have this group of friends from 7 years that have my back no matter where I am. I could ask any of them if they wanted to work out with me online like this any single day of the week. I could ask any of them to help hold me accountable at night when I want to raid the pantry. I could ask any of them parenting advice. I could ask any of them marriage advice. So being a coach is so much more than joining a direct sales team or a multi-level marketing team or these things that people have in their head where it's a pyramid or it's a scam. And that is absolutely what coaching is not. So, okay, I hopefully got that out of my system. Let's talk a little bit about the time that it takes. I would say that Robyn and I are pretty similar on this, where we try to fit it in the mom cracks. That's difficult sometimes because you feel like you don't have any cracks in your day. I started when my kids were all in school, so that might not be your situation. I know it wasn't Robyn's. Her kids were much smaller than mine were. But even then, and I say school, my littlest one was in preschool. And you guys that have preschoolers know that 9 to 12 window or whatever you get to drop them off goes by in like like so fast. I remember dropping them off at 9 and like trying to run all my errands to be home. So I really didn't have a lot of time. I would say building my business, I worked an hour to 2 a day. And that was just learning something. And that included doing my workout and drinking my shake. So I would do my workout. I usually would drink my shake after my workout. And while I drank my shake and like sat down and really enjoyed it, I would learn something. I would get in our group team pages. I would get in our groups and I would just learn something and then start to apply it. So one foot in front of the other as far as time. And I've really never taken it to a point where I work hours and hours a day. Now, depending on the time that you have and the money that you want to make, that's totally up to you. Like the one thing that I'd like to stress the most on this is it's your business. You get to do what you want with it. It's not, you have to be here at 9 o'clock and check out at 5. If that's how you want to run it and you want to, you have big goals for yourself, that's fine. But I also know that the goals that I set for myself, I was hitting in my first year, and that was with an hour or 2 a day. So you want to touch on any of that, Robyn?
Sure. Yeah. I think, like Kimberly said, how much it takes working, it really depends on what your goals are and what season of life you're in. When folks will tell me, I just don't know if the time is right, it's really busy, my kids are little. Like I said, when I think back to when I started, it was like the worst time to add something, but also it was like my sanity. It was something just for me, and it held me accountable to really being like helping other people made me show up more for myself. And to touch a little bit more on what Kimberly said, as a military spouse, moving, it has made my transitions easier and me being at a better place for my family and my husband because I have this online support group, even as I'm transitioning and maybe locally don't have that. But yeah, as far as like working, I am a morning person. And so I, find just getting up, sometimes it would be an hour before my kids or 30 minutes and doing it. And then, using their nap time and then a little bit in the evening. This year I'm homeschooling, so I've had to be a little bit more diligent when they're maybe at their library lesson, then I can sit there and make it work. So, I mean, that's the beauty of what Kimberly said, a 9 to 5 for me personally just wasn't working with the military life, even any schedule, because my husband's job was so dynamic. I could never depend on him to pick up my children. And, you don't always have like someone you trust or who you're like, can you pick my kid up here and there? So this business is just truly a blessing in the sense that I can work it when it works best for me. And that does take being intentional. Like Kimberly will agree. It's not like magical. Like I just work out and share that, but it does take some work. But the great thing is it really does help you be more accountable. And in social media, we're already sharing, we're already sharing our lives. And so this gives me a platform to add value to people. And whether or not I'm talking about my workout, which for me, I do, Kimberly, maybe not as much because it's not, like I love fitness stuff. But it allows me to share what I'm learning via, personal development or a healthy recipe. And, I've just really enjoyed that part as well with coaching, how it doesn't feel, and I think we wanted to touch base on like, it's not, my biggest fear was I don't want to be salesy. I don't want my friends running from me and being like, oh gosh, she wants me to buy something. I had a good analogy was like, if you go out, here's a good one here locally. We moved to a new place. Our kids eating out, if you have young kids, it's not always enjoyable, but Mexican restaurants are great. They're louder. It's okay. We found one. I was like, oh, it was the most amazing service. The food was fabulous. The prices were reasonable. The portions, it didn't make me sick. It wasn't like all gross. And I got on Facebook on all my mom's groups and was like, if you haven't eaten at, Jose's, the other place was Juan's. At Jose's, like, well, I just loved it. I got the manager and was like, thank you. And we've gone back multiple times. I kind of feel like that's how it is with Beachbody. Like people are like, well, what are you doing, Robyn? I see that you're healthy and fit. I see that you're, what are you doing? And it's easy to share because it's just something you love. And it's truly helped me. So I'm always happy to pass on something that I really, really, really love, like a favorite hairdresser or a restaurant. That's kind of how I feel like coaching is. So Kimberly?
I think that's a perfect example because when Robyn gets on there and she's like, hey, you guys should eat at Jose's. Like if someone doesn't go eat at Jose's, she's not upset about it. If someone doesn't like Mexican food, she's not upset about it. If they maybe didn't love it, like it's not going to hurt her feelings per se. It's just something that she loved, works for her, and she wants to share about it. Now, you take someone like me and Robyn that have been coaching for so long, we're extremely passionate about it because not only do we know our stories, but again, when you start to meet people and go on trips with people and spend time with people, you start to hear hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other stories that aren't just like yours and how it helped, with their diabetes or, we know people that have lost over 100 pounds. We know people that have saved their marriage. We know people that have gotten pregnant. And I'm not claiming anything like that we give you any kind of miracle pill to do these things, but we know these amazing stories that we hear. So it's impossible for us not to sit back and not share it with other people. So that's the same thing that we were talking about. Like, we want to get out there that a lot of what we hear is, I'm not good at sales, or I don't want to do sales, or I would never sell anything. Yet, like, you're probably selling in your job or your life every day. You're selling your kids, like, hey, would you eat this broccoli if I put a little cheese on it? Would you, like, would you go to the potty if I give you an M&M? Like, you are selling whatever it is. Those are just random examples that popped into my head. But we're always kind of negotiating with people to help them do the right thing for them, to help them move in a positive direction. And that's what we're here to do. Another good analogy I love to share with people is, when you go, I'll tie it into the Mexican restaurant. When you go to the Mexican restaurant, they are going to offer you chips and salsa until you just cannot physically put any more in your stomach. But they're going to keep coming by and saying, hey, would you like some more chips and salsa? Can I refill your drink? Would you like another margarita? At some point you have to say, no, I don't. Like, we're good. They don't take offense to that. Their job is just to offer it to you. And that's my job. My job is just to offer you what I have and what I love and what I think would really benefit you. If it's not the right time for you, it's not the right time for you. And a lot of how we do that is sharing through your own journey. And like Robyn said from the beginning, we're very different. Our journey is very different in health and fitness. Our goals are very different in health and fitness. But Beachbody brings us together in such a common ground that we just want to be healthier, and we just want to be happier, and we just want to have more energy, and we just want to be surrounded with other people like that. And that's what we provide, no matter where you are, whether you have 0 pounds to lose and just need more energy in your life and more, positive people in your life, which is very possible, or you have 100 pounds to lose. Wherever you're coming in on the spectrum, we just want you to share it. We just want you to share how you feel and help someone else feel that same way. Anything else you want to add to that as far as how we share and sharing your journey and anything like that?
I mean, really, I feel like people can overcomplicate it, but people are posting on Facebook already, and think of things that, for me, like, I share about homeschooling because that's what I'm doing. It's a part of my life right now. I also share about my faith because that's a big part of me, and it naturally attracts people that I would want to do life with. And so in just a really genuine way. And I find that it has allowed me, as a coach, something that's really stressed from the beginning is personal development. And that has been as much as the physical transformation. And I will say for me personally, at 38 and having the background that I have, I recently went and had all my numbers checked, and I am at crazy. It's crazy to me that I have the energy that I have and the results that I've gotten just from working out at home, but just sharing the things that coaching has really helped me overcome. And even for me homeschooling this year, the personal development helped me have the courage to step out and do that. And I feel like when we share our journey, whatever it is, someone needs to hear your story. The people that need to hear Kimberly's story, they don't care about my story. They care about Kimberly's story. And that's why, it's so cool that when we come together, we're all so different, but we can reach people to really help, in the obesity trend. And it starts at home, and it starts often with the wife, with the mom, and setting that example. So I feel like the more that I became able to be brave in sharing my journey, that it gave others freedom to share theirs and or take a step of faith in their own and message me and be like, hey, Robyn, thanks for sharing that, that. And the Juan or the Jose's, people will be like, oh my gosh, I went there and I loved it. Thank you. Now my husband and I can talk, and the kids will play with the dough, the tortilla dough, and I added value, and that's the same thing with coaching. Sometimes your people will see what you're sharing, and they'll want to join you, or they won't. and that's okay.
Yes, that's a good point. I mean, I can't say that enough. Like some people will and some people won't, and some people will be ready right away and some people won't. Something that I was challenged to do, or, took on my first year, was to give it a year. Because, and I had to get up every day. I was like, I'm going to do it for a year. I'm going to do it for a year. And all of a sudden, 1 year turned into 7 years, like in a blink of an eye, because I just got so much value out of it. And I earned an income. So I'm going to talk a little bit about an income, because you want to know how we earn, what we make, that sort of thing. Again, this goes back to that this is your business. You're going to have different goals, and that's okay. Like for the mom out there that wants to make $100 a week to, be able to have a date night or pay a babysitter or to get a manicure whenever she wanted, which was totally me. I felt like I had to ask when I wanted to do things like that, or like really make sure it fit into our budget. And I just wanted some wiggle room. So it started off rather small for me. And then it turned into, you know what? I am making some money, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my own account, because we have direct deposit for Beachbody, and I'm just going to have all my money go into that account, and I'm not going to spend it. And my goal is, so this was like, let's say 3 months into coaching, so about May of 2013, and we were going on a Disney trip that we had already booked in October of 13. So I was like, I'm just going to put all my money in there, and my goal is to try to pay for Disney. And anyone that's been to Disney World with 3 children for a week knows that it's expensive. So I knew that that was going to be a lot of money. And guys, I earned it. I earned over $5,000 in that period. That might seem fast, and I'm not guaranteeing any kind of income to anyone or anything like that. I always have to say that. But I just put my head down and I did all the things that we're talking about. I started sharing my journey. I started sharing my results, and I started inviting people to join me. And I earned a commission. So anything that you sell as a Beachbody coach, you earn 25% commission. So you sell something for $100, you make $25. Pretty straightforward for commission wise. Another opportunity comes in if you decide that you want to build a team. And we have lots of bonuses and cycle bonuses and all these kind of things that you'd be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And we get into it much more with lots of coach training when you start. So I don't want to overcomplicate anything, but there's bigger opportunity if you build a team. So not only was I inviting people to join me in my workout, I was asking, hey, do you want to do this with me? And why would they want to do it with you? Maybe they're just starting, maybe they're too busy, maybe they don't like sales, all those things we're talking about with you guys. But the fact is, we're just regular people. Robyn didn't graduate with a master's and was like, I'm going to go into multi-level marketing. Like, I'm going to, travel around the world with my military husband. Like, she didn't know what was coming next. I have a business degree. I have run my own businesses in the past, had never done anything in direct sales or multi-level marketing. Never thought I would, honestly. I had looked into it in the past, and one of the things that kind of turned me away from it was the nights and weekends that a lot of people have to do when they commit to sell a product, shows that they would have to do. And my whole thing was like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, I want to be at home on the nights. I want to be at home on the weekends. I want to be able to pick up my kids from school. I want to be able to do fun weekend trips with them. I don't want to be doing those things. And I don't do any of that with Beachbody. I work the hours that I want to work. I check in with my team when the time is good for us. Like, we have multiple opportunities for learning and growing. We have the internet, which records everything. Like, it's just your business, and what do you want it to be? So I'm telling you, if you want to make $100 a month, I can connect you with someone who's done that. If you want to make 1,000, I can connect you with someone who's doing that. If you want to make 10,000, 100,000, there are literally people on our team that do that because those are their goals and that is what they want to do, and they can teach you how to do it too. So the whole earning potential is very, very exciting. We're always open to more questions about all of that, but I encourage you guys, like our team says, to dream big and to make it what you want it to be. So we're gonna wrap it up here in the next few minutes, but let's talk a little more about how you get started, Robyn. What's the best way to get started?
Well, the best way to get started is having the tools to get your own, if a challenge pack basically. And that gives you access to being able to have like a bag of Shakeology and Beachbody on demand. I would say that's probably the most popular. It wasn't around when I started. You had to buy the DVDs individually, which added up quickly and took up clutter. So Beachbody on demand is literally thebomb.com. It is hundreds of workouts by, and I don't need to, but basically, yes, the challenge pack is the easiest way to get started. So that way you have the tools to start your own. Like my suggestion to you is drink your shake. That's what I did. And do the workout and give yourself 30 days. And if you aren't like, woohoo, like, man, and actually do it, I feel like I love this quote. If I kind of sort of try, I kind of sort of get results. And I have had to have that tough love conversation with myself multiple times, but that's really the best way to get started. Either using, 2B mindset, this is where you would kind of talk to whoever it is that invited you. And if someone invited you, let me just say, that's like a compliment that they see something in you, like that they would say, hey, like, check this out because I see something in you. So that would probably be, what would you want to add to that, Kimberly?
No, I agree. We have an option, like if you've already bought a challenge pack, you can pay a $40 fee that actually gets immediately refunded to you because you bought a challenge pack. If you are military, it's free at any time to join as a coach. You also pay no coach fee. As coaches, we pay, so Robyn doesn't pay a coach fee because of her military connection. I pay a $15.95 a month coach fee, which means I have a website. They handle all my shipping. They handle all my returns. They do a ton of advertising. I have access to free leads. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. And as someone that has been a business owner that had to have my own brick and mortar and employees and all of that business, $15 a month is nice. So if you ever run a business, you know that that's not a big fee. If you haven't run a business, I'm here to tell you, like, that's really peanuts. And so it's awesome that they give it to the military waived for free as well. So all I want to end with is the support that you will get if you do decide to make this move. On a side note, one thing that I hear a lot that I didn't touch on, Robyn did touch on a little, is the time. Like, a lot of people might be finishing this and like, just don't know if I have the time to do this. And I'm telling you, if you're someone who watched this video, it was 30 minutes, you have time to do this. You found 30 minutes in your day to do something that you're kind of excited about, interested in. Like, why not give it a year? Why not see what happens in a year? Like, I had a coach early on that told me, she started coaching before me, and she said she was like, I don't know if I have time. I think she had 3 kids at the time. Now she has 6, but she didn't know if she had the time. And her husband said, what's the worst that could happen? Like, you lose a little weight, you get in shape, you meet some cool people. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, you're really not losing anything. And I just want you to go into it that positive attitude of like, this could be so great for you. Like, you could be leading this call in 7 years, talking to women that are ready to change their life. They just need a change. They want to do something exciting. And so you do have the time, especially if you made it 30 minutes, because if I could get you to work your business 30 minutes a day, I can get you to build a business. The support that you'll have on this team is amazing. You're going to connect with so many people that really get you and are just like you and are in the same situation. Maybe you're like, I just had a baby. Maybe you're pregnant. Maybe you want to have more kids. Maybe you have 50 pounds to lose. Maybe you have 100 pounds to lose. Maybe you're coming from the fitness industry and you want to use that. Maybe you love yoga. Maybe you have your own studio. Maybe you love your Peloton. Like, it doesn't matter. I can connect you with someone that is going to totally relate to you. So I'm excited about that because we have such a big team. And any other support factor you want to share, Robyn, that sticks out to you?
Just that you're not going at it alone. This team is amazing. I'll just say I've been on a retreat with 30 plus women in the same house and no drama. Like, I tell people that and they're like, what? And I'm like, no, we all come from different backgrounds. And I know for Kimberly and I, we both do stay home and work, but there are a lot of coaches on our team that also work full time. So we're kind of a small sampling, and it just happened that we're both sharing. But if you don't, if that's like, well, that's great for y'all, but that's not, I'm telling you, like, where there's a will, there's a way. And if we're, think of the time we spend scrolling or whatnot. But the thing that I think has kept me like going when otherwise life gets so crazy is the support that I have found in this team, in this company, and their overall vision for really continuing to provide tools that help us as coaches help more people. So, I love that, that aspect of it. And one more thing for my military folks out there, like, no fees. That is crazy that they honor the military in that way. And I'm so grateful for it. And my husband's not here, but like I said, he initially was kind of like, well, I don't know about this, Robyn. And I said, give me 60 days. And really it only took 2 weeks. And he had a whole different wife. And I was that wife. I always used to say I was the anchor pulling our family down. And he was trying, and I just was pulling down. And thanks to Beachbody, it was, and this community was a huge catalyst to getting to me to who I was created to be, because they helped me when I maybe didn't have that belief in myself. So that kind of support to me is priceless. And I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm energetic. I mean, not all the time, but right now I'm in my calming corner. So yeah, that's about it from me.
All right, girl. Well, we hope you answered all your questions. We totally nailed it in 30 minutes. I'm super impressed. Like, woo-hoo. But if we didn't answer something or you're still confused on anything, we have lots of tools, and your coach can get on a phone call with you and answer anything, and you can ask in this group as well. So thanks for your time, and we hope you guys have a great day, and we look forward to welcoming tons of you into Dream Big. All right. Bye. Love you, Robyn.
Love you too. Bye, girl.